What's up, guys? So in this video, I'm going to talk about credit cards and what type of credit cards you can use for your e-commerce business. Now, many of you guys are out there and you're trying to do this thing and you hit a roadblock, and that roadblock is credit limits, and purchasing, right? So if you need to purchase inventory, or if you need to purchase ads, more and more ads, if you need to scale ads. Some of you guys that are in the stages of scaling, you're like, I'm spending a few $1,000s a day, but I can't get past that because my credit limits me. And so what you have to do is you have to wait. If you're with such credit cards like Capital One, it takes a few days to get that refreshed. Unless unless you have like an Amex card, then you can just keep constantly rolling and rolling and rolling for as long as you need, and they get you the credits that you need. So I'm going to talk about different credit card companies and the different types of rewards as well. So in this video, you're going to see exactly one of my credit cards that I was able to rack up over $8,000 in just reward points, US dollars in rewards. Okay, so I want to show you how you can do that as well, and how you can start utilizing reward points, and some little hacks that you can do today as well. And you don't even have to be the one using your credit card to do these hacks as well. You can lend your credit card to like family members and things like that to make purchases, as long as they're paying you back, right, on your credit cards, but you get those points. So in this video, I want to show you 4 different types of credit cards that you can use and rack up points, and also use those points for flights as well. So if you're thinking about taking a trip somewhere, I want to show you how you can use those cards for points and also for cash back, and which cards are the best for cash back, such as business purchases, or purchases at the gas stations, purchases in restaurants, things like that. Also purchases for Facebook ads as well, how you can triple your points if you're doing any Facebook ads or Google ads or anything online that is for your business. All right, we'll get right into my office computer and I'm gonna show you right now. All right, guys, welcome back. So now I'm going to show you 4 different companies that I personally use for my credit cards, especially in e-commerce. Okay, so like I said, if you are looking to get more credit, you're looking to get more funding for your stores and for your e-commerce businesses, then you definitely need to have good credit, or some sort of credit, right? Now, if you don't have good credit, don't worry, because I'm going to show you a card that you can use right now to start building up that credit and build up that trust again with the credits and the credit bureaus and things like that. So just to give you a background, I am not your financial teacher or anything like that. I'm just showing you based on my experience on what I've used personally for my own e-commerce businesses, and how I was able to accumulate points and use points to even pay off my cards as well. Now, if you're looking into doing this, a few things to note. You want to be in certain credit categories as well. Okay, so there's those that have bad credit. That's okay, because I'm going to show you a card that you can use. I personally, when I first started this business, or anything, right, I was never taught credit. I was never taught how to utilize credit. My parents never taught me this. I was never taught how to use credit in high school or anything like that, which I feel like that's a huge disservice to humanity. Is when you go to school, you're supposed to learn about life and you're supposed to learn about all these things. They never teach you anything about money, and that's a huge disservice to everyone. They don't teach you about taxes. They don't teach you about credits. They don't do any of that. So I had to learn that through the hard way. And while I was in college, I had a credit card where my first ever credit card was a PayPal credit card, right? And I would max that thing out, and I'm like, whoa, this is cool. I get to spend all these crazy things, and I don't have to pay until later. That's awesome, right? But then later on, came back to me, and I had to pay it back. So you want to be responsible as well. And credit cards teach you how to become the most responsible, because you really have to be on a schedule. You have to see what your interest rates are. There were times where my business was actually run on credit, which can be a good thing and can also be a bad thing, because if your business is run on credit, like a few years ago, I would say about 5 or 6 years ago, my entire business was run purely on credit, right? And so I would rack up all these credit card bills and I'd have to pay them, but I didn't pay them fully. So I would pay them little by little, and then I would get these interest charges, and these interest charges were ridiculous. Some of you guys might be nodding your head right now that are watching this video. Some of these interest charges could be like $100, $200 a month, sometimes even more, depending on how much credit you've racked up and how much you have to pay. So that really brought me to having to just become more responsible with it and learning to pay it all off before the end of the month. And that's really the goal, is to try to pay it off before the end of the month. And I sometimes people use credit like fake money, right? Because there's a lot of credit in my credit card, I could just use it whenever. That's wrong. Think about credit in the mentality state. Think about credit as like a debit card, right? If you don't have it, don't buy it. So that's how I look at it in terms of credit. Now it's like, even back then I was like, if I don't have it, I'm not going to spend it on my credit card. But when you do become really good at it, you can actually start getting rewarded by being a good credit card spender. So how that works is the credit card companies, they make their money by interest rates. So people that don't pay it off, and it takes time for them to pay it off, they make money on those interest rates. So while I was paying the credit card companies $100, $200, the credit card companies were making money from my interest, and so I didn't really like that. I'm like, whoa, these credit card companies are making $200 a month from me, and I'm still paying it off, right? So every month they're making $200 every single month. Now that's how they make their money. But when you become responsible with it, they start to reward you. So that's when you have these cash back rewards and these points rewards, and how you can use those points for cash back as well. So we're going to take a look at some of these credit cards. One of them from Chase, Capital One, Discover, and American Express. Okay. Now I would recommend you get as many of these as possible. You might have some financial gurus or whatever out there tell you like, oh, don't apply for so many, blah blah blah. I would recommend applying for as many as you can in a short amount of time possible, so that later on you can start building. Yeah, it's gonna bring your score down a little bit, but later on you can start having those all of these cards over time. Now the credit bureaus, they take a look at a few things. Okay, they took a look at namely one of them, the biggest one, is timely payments. The second one is credit utilization. How much credit you're utilizing every single month. Is it 1%? Is it 30%? Is it 50%? 100%? Right? So if you're using that much credit, then that counts against you in your credit score. So when your credit score is lower, it's harder to get approved for a lot of things. But when you start learning how to do these things, anyone can do this. Literally, guys, anyone can do this, right? As long as you just know how to do it and how to apply the system. So I'm going to teach you guys how to do some of that today for your e-commerce businesses. And like I said, I'm no financial expert, so I'm just showing you based on my experience and what I was able to do for my credit cards, and how I was able to rack up these points as well. All right, so let's take a look at one of the first ones here, is Chase. Now, actually, before I get into that, I want to show you a card that you can use right now. It's called a secured card. Okay, so if you have bad credit and you're not able to get these type of credit cards, I'm going to show you one credit card that you can get that will allow you to build up that credit over time. Now, one other thing that you want to do is, if you have bad credit, you want to talk to like some sort of like a credit, like one of those people that, this is what I did, one of those people that can fix your credit, right? And what these guys did, there was one of them, it was in Utah, and I called them up and they're like, hey, so I have this bad credit, and they asked me a whole bunch of questions. They pulled up my credit and they saw that there was some delinquency and some missed payments and things like that. So what they did was they wrote a letter to all of these missed payments, and every single one of them, they wrote a letter for all of these missed payments and everything else like that. They disputed it. So what happens when they disputed it, my credit jumped up 100 points. And I couldn't believe it, because I only paid $100 to them to do this dispute. It might be more. That was like way back in the days, right? It might be more now. But when I disputed it, my credit jumped up like crazy. And then I was able to get more credit cards. But even then, before then, I used what's called a secured card. So Capital One has a secured card. Let me see if I can find it here. Now, if we go to compare all cards, you're going to see all these different types of credit cards from Capital One. Okay. Now, let's say the secured card. So click on credit level, click on rebuilding on Capital One, and you're going to see this secured MasterCard. Okay. So it says a refundable deposit of $49, $99, or $200 gets you a $200 initial credit line. So what does that mean? So what that means is that if you have no credit, if you have to deposit some money, you have to deposit like $49, $99, or $200, and it gets you how much credit line. So if you deposit $100, you get a $100 credit line, and that is refundable as well. And so basically what happens here is that when you start using this card, and it says here, access a higher credit line by making your first 5 monthly payments on time. So as long as you're paying your card on time, then what that does is that gives you higher credit. So you may go from a $100 credit to a $1,000 credit, something like that, right? Or $500 credit. So what happens here is that you start off, let's theoretically say you start off with $100. You deposit $100 into the secured MasterCard, and they give you $100 in credit, right? And so what happens here is that $100, you can use that like a debit card, but you would use it as normal purchases, and then you would pay it off every single month. So when you pay it off every single month, that shows up on your credit line that says, I paid off this card every single month. Okay, and so that improves your credit over time. You want to show lengthy credit payments on time. And so when you're paying it off every single month, that gives you a higher credit, and then you're able to build up credit. So this is the rebuilding stage. Okay, once you start seeing your credit rebuild, and Capital One also gives you like kind of like a free, I'm going to show you here in a second as well, like kind of like a free credit check as well. Okay, so what happens here, now that you have a better credit, you can start to apply for the better credit cards. Okay, let's go to like average credit cards here on Capital One. So we have the Quicksilver Rewards card. You get 1.5% cash back on every purchase. Okay, now if you're not accruing any interest, you're not accruing $100, $200 in interest every month, like what I was doing, you can now accrue 1.5% cash back. Okay, so imagine you spent $100, then you get yourself $1.50 cash back at the end of the month if you paid back that $100. So if you have $100 in your bank account, you don't spend it on your debit card. That's the wrong way of doing it. You spend it on your credit card. Now the thing with the difference between the debit and a credit card is the credit card is more secure, right? I mean, debit card is secure as well, but the credit card is more secure because let's say someone takes your credit card, they can't really withdraw cash from an ATM like they would with a debit card. But with the credit card, you can dispute those charges if it was fraudulent. Okay, so that's the difference between credit card and debit. I always use a credit card, and so that credit card I would pay using the money that's in the bank account. So if you had $100 in your bank account, you spent $100 on your credit card, you pay $100 on your credit card. So then you get back $1.50 because you paid it on time and because you don't have accrued any interest or anything like that. Okay, so I hope I'm not losing you here. But basically, you pay it on time and you get cash back. Okay, you don't want to end up paying the variable APRs and the interest rates and all these other things. You want to pay it on time so that you can get 1.5% cash back at the end of the month. Sometimes actually faster. It's when after you paid it, right? So you get $1.50. Let's say you spend $1,000. That means you get $15 cash back. You spent $10,000. You get $150 cash back. So if you were to spend that $10,000 just by itself on a debit card, you would not have gotten that $150 cash back. All right. So if you spend $100,000, that means you get $1,500 cash back to your account. $1,500 cash back to your account. Okay. Now there are other cards that are much better than this, and I'm going to show you here. Now we also have the Journey Student Awards, 1% cash back. This is good if you're a student. Okay, if you're doing anything like that. And then you have the Spark Classic, which is get credit on your business, unlimited 1% cash back on every purchase every single day. Now, when we go into more of the excellent credit cards here, we have the Venture Card, which is going to give you bonus miles. So if you're traveling, you go out and travel, you can utilize these points for purchases on airlines and for travel airlines. And there are ways where you can actually utilize these points and get them a lot easier, a lot better, because sometimes you'll find that let's say a flight costs 40,000 points, But then you're searching around, and then you find a flight that costs 20,000 points for the same flight. You might be able to save that way. Instead of getting one flight, you can get 2 or 3 flights for the price of one flight, if that makes sense. I'll go into this later in detail. I'm not going to go into it in deep detail right now. There's plenty of videos that you can watch on that as well. Now, then you have the venture rewards, 1.25 miles cashback. Let me show you the ones that I like personally. I have the Saver reward, which gives you unlimited 4% cashback on dining and entertainment. Can you imagine that? You spend $1,000, okay? You spend $1,000, you get $40 cash back if you spend $1,000 in dining, entertainment throughout however many months that could be. You spend $100, you get $4 cash back on dining and entertainment. So this is one of my favorite cards for going out and for eating and things like that. So when we go out as a team, I would be using this card right here because it gives me 4% cash back. Not only that, I can also write off. Now I think the IRS rules are a lot different now than it was before, but you can write off. Back then you could write off cash dining and entertainment, especially if it's for business, right? 2% cash back at grocery stores and 1% cash back on all other purchases. So if you go out there and you go anything related to dining and entertainment, you go to Disney World, you go do anything, right? Dining and entertainment, you get 4% cash back. That's huge. And then you also earn a one-time $300 cash back bonus once you spend $3,000 on purchases within the first 3 months of opening. So you think about it. Okay, you pay your bills. You pay your phone bill, your electric bill, you go out, you pay gas, right? You pay whatever it is. If you made at least $3,000 in purchases within 3 months of opening the account, you can get $300 cashback bonus. Okay. Now the only downside to this is there is a $95 fee, but there are other cards without a fee as well. And you can see right here, this one has no fee. Okay, so you want to be careful which ones you apply for. You don't want to apply for the ones with a fee. Now, it only makes sense with a fee is if you calculated all this, the 4% cash back, and it makes sense that, okay, if I spent this much, I'll get this much back. Okay, it only makes sense to pay that fee because if your 4% is more than $95 a year, then it makes sense, right? Versus if you were at the 3%, you had no fees, which is great. This is probably for someone who doesn't spend a lot and wouldn't need to spend a lot. So this one, you don't have to pay that fee. So you don't want to go for a card that has a fee. A lot of people make that mistake. They're like, oh, because this has 1% more cash back. Doesn't necessarily mean that. Because this one here still has 0 fees. So you still have to pay the $95 fee every year as long as you have the card. And the worst thing you can do, guys, is if you cancel a card. That actually hurts your credit. So think about it long term. Am I going to be spending a lot? And is that fee going to be worth it for me to pay every year? Or should I just go for the 3% versus the 4% and have no fee? And the cashback bonus is a lot less as well, okay? So they, Capital One and all these credit bureaus, they've already done all the calculations and they're like, okay, this makes sense. If we charge $95, we'll be making money because majority of people won't even hit that in their cashback, right? So for them, it's like, okay, yeah, it does make sense for us to charge it. But for you, you have to be smart about this. See, this stuff they don't teach in school, they don't teach you like anywhere else, right? You have to be real smart about this because if that $95 fee is more than your actual cash back, it doesn't make sense to do it, okay? So don't always go for the fee. Most people are like, oh yeah, but we get $300 cash back. Like that doesn't matter because you're going to be losing that later on down the years by continually paying that fee. So try to get a card, if it doesn't make sense for you, try to get a card with 0 annual fee. And it's still the same because you still get 3% cash back on dining and entertainment and 2% on groceries, 1% on all the other purchases. I mean, do you buy groceries, right? Do you go out? Do you go dine and you go entertainment? You go to theme parks? You go do all these things? Yeah, of course. I mean, a lot of us do. So might as well use this card for all those purchases. Okay, now my second favorite card, actually my ultimate favorite card, not really, actually this is my second favorite card. My favorite card is like my third favorite card. This is my second favorite card, is the Spark Cashback. So this gives you 2% unlimited cashback on every purchase every single day. I'm going to show you my card that I was able to rack up over $8,000 in cashback. As a matter of fact, I've racked up more throughout the years. I I probably racked up over like $20,000 in actual cash back. I'm going to show you one of my accounts. I'm going to log into it and show you the $8,000 in cash back that I received by just utilizing this card. Okay. Now, if the fee works, then that's fine. The fee definitely works for me because I definitely make more on cash back. Obviously, it's $8,000, on cash back. So the $95 fee definitely does work for me. Now you earn $500 cash bonus once you spend $4,500 on purchases within the first 3 months. So imagine that you get $500 in cash back. Okay, if you purchase $4,500. So that $4,500 trip to Asia or Europe, that $4,500 trip actually just cost you $4,000. Okay, not only that, but you get cash back 2% on that as well. So that $4,000 that you spent, that means you got yourself about $80 cash back. Okay, $80 cash back. So that trip actually costs you $3,920 versus paying $4,500. Okay, that's how you become smart with this and how you can get money back by utilizing your credit cards. And then the other thing is you can also get unlimited miles as well. We'll talk about miles here in a second as well, but there are different credit cards that you can use within Capital One. My favorite is honestly for Capital One, my favorite is the 2% cash back. Okay, so let's log into my account here, to my Capital One account, and I'm going to show you that in a second. All right, so I am logged into my Capital One, and you can see I have 4 different cards. So this was my secured card, which I used way back. I still have it, have not closed it. And then I have another MasterCard, Platinum MasterCard, which was, I think it was like after the secured card. And then I have my Spark card, which I constantly use, and then my Saver card, which I only use for dining and entertainment and groceries and things like that. So let's take a look at my Spark card. Okay, I do have points on all of these cards as well. So you can imagine how many points I have on all these cards. So you can see I have about $8,478 in cash back, rewards cash back. Okay, and so as long as you're paying your bills and you're paying your card every single month, what I do is I pay my card every day. So every day, once I accumulate these credit cards through advertising, through all these other things, I try to pay it every day or every other day. And so I pay all that off, so that, because what happens with Capital One is that it takes like 2 to 3 days for the payment to reflect. So you can see I just made a payment today, okay, for $6,815, and it takes a few days for that to reflect on my account, maybe about 2 to 3 days. And so I don't want my card to be constantly piling up. And they did call me up, Capital One did call me up, and they told me that, hey, you can increase your credit limit, and we can also give you this thing where it's like you still have the credit there, even if you blow through $32,000 in credit line in a single day or two, right? Then you can actually get that increase as well. So they did call me up. They had like this representative from Utah, but I didn't get a call back from that. So I don't know, Capital One. Hopefully you guys can call me back on that and see how you can improve it, because I'm using all these other credit cards. I would like to use a Capital One cash back so I can get more rewards, more cash back on that. So that's the only downfall of Capital One, is that you have to pay it, and then it takes a few days for that payment to reflect so that you can utilize your credit again. So what that means is that if you have $1,000 in credit limit and you spent $1,000, you can't use your card again until after you pay that $1,000, and then it takes 2 to 3 days for the payment to reflect so that you can use that $1,000 again, which kind of sucks, right? Amex is not like that. Amex, you can, if you have $1,000, you use $1,000, you paid $1,000 the same day, you have $1,000 in credit that same day again. So it refreshes your credit instantly once you pay. So that's the cool thing about Amex. So let's take a look at the rewards cash right here. All right, I'm going to open up, and we can see right here, I can either redeem for cash, or let's refresh this right here. Let's go rewards cash. Okay, so I can redeem for cash, or I can cover for purchases. So if I click redeem for cash, I can credit this to my card, or they can mail a check over to me. Okay, or if I cover for purchases, I can either cover the purchases for all my other purchases, and okay, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, I want to do that, and it lets me cover for all my purchases. And then I can also get gift cards. For some reason, Capital One is like, their images aren't working today. And then I can also get gift cards. So if I click this, I can click use my rewards, and then I can also get gift cards as well. So if I wanted to, I can get like Amazon gift cards, like $10 to $100 gift cards, American Airlines. Now it doesn't make sense for me to do this unless I'm actually, gifting these gift cards away. So if you have a team or something like that, another cool thing you can do is you can say, hey, so if you do well this month, guys, we're giving out $100 gift cards using your cash back, right? Or you can use this for anything you want. You can literally have this mailed as a check to you, and you can buy a car. Okay, I could go out there, have this mailed to me, and I can buy a car. Okay, or you can do any of these things. What I like to do is I like to rack this up. So if, let's say, we have a bad month in business, then what I'll do is I'll actually redeem this for cash back on my account. So if I owe $8,000 on my account, right, I can use all this to pay it all back, to pay all that back. If we had a bad month, or if we had, and in e-commerce, you always have these ups and downs. You have your good months, you have your bad months. So this is kind of like a safety net, right? If something bad happens and your ads didn't perform as well as you did, as well as you like to, then you have that safety net, and you can use this as that safety net. Or you could use this to reward yourself to go to Disneyland or to go wherever you want. Okay, so that's the cool thing about Capital One is if you become responsible with this, you get to actually, and you can see if I click on Earn Activity, I can see all the cash back that I've gotten so far. Okay, out of the $600 that I spent here, this one was for Shopify. I earned $12 cash back. Okay, and you can see this really helps out a lot, especially for every single purchase. An $8 purchase right here, 17 cents cash back. Okay, $159 purchase, $3.18 cash back. And you see all these little things add up, right? Even this one right here, for a $1 purchase, 2 cents cash back. $500 purchase on Google Ads, $10 cash back. All that stuff adds up, and over time you can utilize that for back into your business. Okay, put it back into your advertising, things like that, back into products, back into all these other things. Okay. We take a look at redemptions and most recent activity. So I didn't redeem anything for a while here. And then I can also set up auto redeem for cash. So that's the cool thing about Capital One, is that you can have everything redeemed for cash, or for your other purchases, or even one of those gift cards and things like that. Okay, so next thing that we're going to do is we're going to compare Chase. Okay, Chase is one of my favorites. Now, the thing about Chase is that a good friend of mine told me that when you apply for Chase, apply for all the cards all at once, because it gives you a higher approval rate versus if you were to apply one now, one a week later, you probably get denied. But if you apply all of them at once, you would probably get approved. So I applied for three cards. Out of 3 cards, 2 of them was approved. Okay, so I don't know. I guess it worked, right? So let's go to all cards, and what we're going to do is we're going to compare all the Chase cards. Chase, if you have really good credit, Chase is one of the best, because what they do is they give you cash, they give you rewards points. And the great thing about Chase is that you can actually transfer these reward points over to an airline of your choice. Okay, so I'm going to log in, and I'm going to log into my Chase after reviewing this, and I'm going to show you the different types of airlines that I can use for Chase. And I'm actually going to show you we're going to go into an airline and actually see what type of tickets we can get with those Chase points. Okay, so the 2 cards that I like from Chase are, let me see if I have this. Maybe it's under small business. So the 2 cards that I have is the Inc. Cash credit card, and there's actually not that one. Sorry, it's this one right here. I have this one, the Inc. Business Preferred. It's a $95 annual fee, but if you spend a lot on business, on ads, then this is definitely worth it. You're gonna make back that $95 over and over and over again, just like what you saw in my Capital One with the $8,000 in actual cash back. That $95 made back over and over and over again. Okay, so this works especially if you have a lot of spend in your business. So this one here is an Inc. Preferred Business. You get 80,000 bonus points after you spend $5,000 in the first 3 months after account opening. That's $1,000, roughly about $1,000 in towards travel rewards when you redeem through Chase Ultimate Rewards. So imagine that you get $1,000 by spending $5,000. You get $1,000 in cash back by spending 5 grand. Now I'm going to show you. Now I'm not really an expert at this, but you can see like a really just easy way to do this. How you can get actual airline tickets for 40,000 points and fly anywhere you want for 40,000 points. I wouldn't say anywhere you want, like just specific. But the great thing about this is that you actually can transfer these points, these 80,000 points, to other partner airlines. And so when you go into these other partner airlines and you do a search, then you're going to start to see like, whoa, I could get a ticket from here to here for 20,000 points, for 40,000 points, or whoa, I could get an upgraded seats for 40,000 points or 80,000 points, okay? Now this gives you that capability of doing that. So that $1,000 that they say is equivalent to 80,000 points, it could actually be a lot more. Okay, I've known people that have spent like 90,000 points to get a $25,000 first class flight on Turkish Airlines or something like that, right? So, so if you do this, if you plan it out smart and you do it right, you can be traveling by just using points, not even using any cash or anything like that. Some of these these airlines will charge you like a $40 fee or like a $80 fee or something like that, but you get to travel, you know, really awesome in like first class and business class and things like that using just your points, okay? Because the same points that you have in business class are the same points that you would use on like a regular economy flight. So you can find a business class flight for 40,000 points, let's say theoretically, and the same exact airline economy is also 40,000 points. So it depends on how good you are in doing that research. So this is one of my favorite cards right here. Is the Inc. Preferred Business. And then the other card that I like is the, let me see if they have this. And they have all these different types of cards on Chase that you can just do your research on. I'm not going to go through every single one of them. I think it's the airlines. Let me see. Not those. Let me go to all cards. There's another card that I really like. It's the Sapphire Preferred Credit Card. This is the one that I have right here. You get 60,000 bonus points after you spend $4,000 on purchases in the first 3 months of your account. That's $750 towards travel. Like I said, that $700 could be a lot more depending on if you do your research and you're able to find cheaper tickets and tickets that are worth, you know, $4,000 or $5,000, but you're only paying like however many points, like $750 in points or whatever it is, right? So if you ever wanted to experience that first class or business class flight, you can utilize your points and reward yourself after you've spent that much in purchases in the first 3 months, and you can do all these cool things just in bonus points. You don't even have to use cash on that, right? So typically a $4,000 flight could cost you 60,000 points. Let's say theoretically say that, but you'd have to do your research. Okay, so let's go ahead and log in and let's take a look at those points here. All right, so I'm all logged in on my Chase cards. I have 2 personal cards and 1 business card. And so this is the Sapphire card that I told you about, and this is the Inc. business card. And so we can see right here, this is also a fairly new card as well. So let's go ahead and open, and you can see usually Chase gives you a very nice credit limit as well. Now if you sign up and you have, now I would recommend signing up to these cards if you have like really good credit and you have a history of credit. If you don't, first go to the secured card, but also just learn this now because this will apply later on when you're at that stage. Okay, maybe it's 6 months from now, maybe it's a year from now. It depends. So when you're at that stage, and then you can start seeing like, whoa, so you're telling me that I can actually get paid to pay for my stuff. Yeah, that's kind of how I'm saying it, right? You can actually get paid by using your credit cards. And so what we're going to do here is with Chase, they give you a large limit. It's better to apply when you have a better credit score because then they can give you that larger limit that you can utilize. So this credit limit right here allows me to go and spend that on ads, to spend it on inventory, to spend it on products, to spend it on equipment. Okay, anything that I need for my business, I don't have to go to like a bank and like beg them, hey, I need like money so I can run my business. I've actually done that, and I was denied by banks because they're like, we have to buy t-shirt machines, right? And they're like, oh yeah, well, it goes through a rigorous process. We want your blood work and stool samples. I'm just kidding. They wanted everything. They wanted like everything to get, and I showed them all the numbers. We were profitable and everything else like that, and it just did this whole runaround. And at the end of the day, we couldn't scale our business fast enough because we were blocked by funds. Okay, and so this allows you to open up that limit and have unlimited potential. So this one here, I mean, imagine if you were to go to a bank and say, hey, I need $44,000. Probably going to say no, right? But if you had this in credit limit, and of course you have to be responsible because you have to pay it as well. But if you had this credit limit, you could say, okay, done. Let's go buy all the inventory that we need, everything that we need to scale, and let's spend $44,000 so that we can make $100,000 or $200,000, and then pay back that $44,000 in a single month, and then make a profit of $20,000 or something. Okay, so those are some of the things that you have to consider and start to think about, like, oh, I don't need that much credit, or I don't need that at all. That's excessive. That's the wrong mentality to be in, because eventually something will happen. You will need it. Okay, so it's always good to have it versus not have it. So it's there for you when you need it, when you need to access it. Am I going to use it all? No, I'm probably not going to use it all unless I'm actually scaling something super hard, and I need to use all of it in like a single week or so. Okay, so let's go ahead and see the balance here and the rewards points. As you can see, and this is probably like, it's a very brand new card, probably a few months old, but you can see I have earned 80,000 points with my bonus account, and points up to date. So like I said, it's only a few months old or so. I've earned another additional 11,000 points plus 20,000 points out of the 300,000 points max. Let me explain what this is. So you automatically get 1 point for every dollar spent. Okay, so in this case here, I probably spent over, on this card with advertising, probably over $11,000 in advertising. And then you get additional 2 times the points. So you get 3 points on advertising. Okay, I'm going to show you here in a second what that looks like, the activity. So when I spend on Facebook ads, if I spend $100 on Facebook ads, I don't get 100 points. Yeah, I do get 100 points, but in total I actually get 300 points because I get 2 additional points for every dollar that I spent. So total of 3 points for every dollar. Okay, and so what I can do with that is I can go out there and I can buy plane tickets. Okay, and that's really what I use this Chase card for, is just for travel and plane tickets, because I do travel a lot for business and for networking and for masterminds and things like that. So I can use these points for travel. So it's like, yeah, I am spending on the business, spending on ads and everything else like that, but then I get to travel for free, essentially, right? Because I'm using these points for travel. All right, so now let's go and click on review more activity. And this is what happens when you use over, and there's another card. I'm going to go back to the Sapphire, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. You know, they have a little cool like graph over here. But let's take a look at review some activity here. Okay, I'm going to open this up and I'm going to show you guys what that looks like. Okay, and it looks like I'm going to also earn 14,000 points on my next statement. So it's not even the full amount here. Okay, so we can see right here, and these are like some of the things that we earn points on. So for example, here I spent $900 on Facebook ads, which was just yesterday on this card. Now, if I click on this, I got 900 points. Okay, 900 points that goes towards travel, and also 1,800 points because it's a business expense. It's an advertising expense. This actually should have gone as well. This one should have as well. Sometimes what you do is you just call up Chase, and then you can have that redeemed as well, because sometimes they don't know what it is, but they definitely know what Facebook ads are. So they know that Facebook ads, you get 2 times points for every dollar spent. So this one, it was a total $900 spent, a total of $2,700 in points. Okay, $2,700 in actual points. Now let's go back, and I want to go back to where this looks like right here, where it says 300,000 points. So what that means is that I can get these bonus points up to 300,000 points maximum. So I believe it's like roughly $150,000 in ad spend on Facebook to get up to 300,000 points, bonus points. And then after that, it's just 1 point for every spend on Facebook. So I don't get and then until the anniversary year. So whenever I open up the credit card until the next year, then these bonus points will show up again. So if I spend 150,000 on Facebook ads, then I'll get $300,000 in 300,000 points that I can use for travel, for example, that I can use for my team, or I could use for myself, right? And that I could just use that for travel. This is only for travel, all right? So now another cool thing about this is that, well, yeah, like I said, so the 300,000 points, once that's all refreshed the next year, then you can start utilizing again and then getting those bonus points. So what I do is, once after I'm done with all the bonus points, then I go back into my cashback card on Capital One, because then it starts to make sense on Capital One. So now you're starting to see, like, oh, I can start to get bonus points on this if I use this credit card, or if I use my cashback card, it makes more sense because I get more money out of it. And so now you're getting rewarded by paying your bills. Okay, you're actually getting paid to pay your bills. So that kind of sounds funny, right? You're getting paid to pay your bills. So let's go back and let's go to my account, and then I'm going to go over to the Sapphire card, and I'm going to show you what this looks like as well. Okay, so it's the same thing. All right, so let's go see balance and then click on redeem. So I didn't spend a lot on this one. I have about $1,000 left till I get the bonus points. Okay, and you can also look at this. So $1,825 points are worth $18.25 for a Starbucks gift card. So I would not ever use my points for things like Starbucks or anything like that, because the points to actual value ratio is not very good. The points to value ratio for travel, for example, is a lot better, because you can find, and I'm going to show you in a second, you can actually find airlines and tickets that are savers and super cheap that you can use. For example, an airline that's worth 80,000 points, you can find the same exact thing for 40,000 points if you traveled the day before or after. Okay, so you're spending half the amount of points that they're telling you. So this one right here, $18.25. Literally, if you found a really good flight, this $18.25 is actually worth maybe $40 or $50. Okay, so imagine this amount of points for $40 or $50, or maybe even like $20 or $30 for this amount right here. Instead, you're going out there and spending 18 bucks. So instead of spending $1,800 on a flight, or let's say instead of spending $30,000 for a flight, you can spend or $3,000 on a flight, you can spend $1,500 on a flight using points. So if you do the math right, you play your cards right, you can gather up these points and utilize them. Now, right here, as you can see, like I said, there's a graph. It's really cool because it shows you the graph and how many days you have left until you can redeem those points. So this one I have until the October 24th to redeem these points right here. Okay, and then once I do that, I get 60,000 additional points, which I can actually combine them. I've already called Chase and talked to them. I can actually combine the points all together. So I can combine my Ink card points and also my Sapphire points all together, and then I can redeem them all together. Okay, now here's what happens with your points. Let's go ahead and click on this, and let's see what we have here. Okay, so here's what happens with your points. You can actually redeem it for travel. Now, how you redeem, and they have other things as well. You can do gift cards, you can do cash back, transfer to travel partners, Amazon. Sometimes the cool thing about gift cards is that you can find some gift cards that are discounted as well, even on Capital One as well. You can find gift cards that are discounted. So let's say a gift card costs you 10,000 points. Sometimes you'll find gift cards that are worth 10,000 points for, let's say, 6,000 points or 7,000 points or 4,000 points. Okay, sometimes you'll find those cool deals. Like American Express, we're going to get into that as well. American Express has these things where you can actually transfer points for more points. So like they had this promo where it's like 3 times the points on Marriott. So I had over 500,000 points. If I transferred it to Marriott, I could get 1.5 million points. Okay, so then I can use those points to travel to book hotels and things like that, and actually stay at hotels for technically free, but not really because you use your cards, right? So with travel, the cool thing about Chase is that you can actually travel. You can transfer these to different airlines as well. So if we click on travel, we can see my 111,000 points are worth $1,391 in travel. Okay, so I can use that for anything, but this is only for, like, for example, if you were to go in here and try to use this for Chase, that's for Chase. But what you want to do the best things you want to do for this is you want to transfer this to a partner. Okay, where it says travel partners, transfer to travel partners, you can see that when you click on this, you can transfer this to Air Club, British Airways, Emirates Skywards, Air France, Flying Blue. This is like Air France right here. Iberia, JetBlue, TrueBlue, Singapore Airlines, Southwest, United, Virgin Atlantic, and you can do hotels as well. IHG, Marriott, World of Hyatt. So that 1,000 whatevers that we saw right here, right, for travel, if you transfer this to an airline partner, that $1,300 could be $2,000. Could be, like I said, I had a friend who used 90,000 points to get a $25,000 ticket. That could be $25,000. Okay, if you know how to do it right. So I'm going to show you one technique right now to utilizing these points for an actual flight. Okay, so what we're going to do right now is if we go back and we can see this transfer to travel partners right here, transfer your points. Let's go to one of those travel partners. Let's go to United. Okay, United, mileage plus United. So we're going to head over to united.com. Okay, so now we're in united.com, and so what we want to do is we want to go and click on advanced searches. Okay, and then what we can do here is we can actually, I'm not sure if it's over here. Actually, let's go back. Let's just search for, let's say we go from Newark to, let's say let's say Manila. Okay, because I do that trip a lot. From Newark to Manila, just because I have offices there and everything else like that. And the dates, let's go from, let's do like, I don't know, let's do January 20th to like February 10th. Okay, so I have 3 travelers. Let's just do 1 traveler, so that's just me. Okay, and I'm just gonna go there, visit my office, etc. What you can do is you can also click book with miles. So you click book with miles, and you want a round trip ticket. Okay, and let's take a look at economy for now. We're gonna hit find flights, book with miles. Okay, and then close this right here. And what's going to happen here is that it's going to show me different flights that I can book with miles. Okay, and we can see right here. Now these are only for like the Saver Rewards for points. So now I can travel from Newark to Manila for 40,000 miles. So that means with my points here on my Chase card, that means I can travel 2 times, or I can have 2 people travel with economy for technically for free, right? Because it's just points. So I can use 40,000 points for $35.90. And so typically, let's take a look at what this looks like without points. Let's just do price. Okay, let's hit update. And so this $40,000 in points would actually be, let's take a look, it's going to refresh. And so this allows me to see like, oh, so this would have cost me this much if I were to travel with that. Okay, this would have cost $751, actually $2,000 round trip. Okay, $2,000 round trip with United within those dates. So imagine that. So now I can get 2 of these trips for just bonus points. And here Chase is telling me that these bonus points are worth about $1,000. We take a look at that. I can get 2 of these trips. So that means the 80,000 points, not 100,000 points like they're saying. 80,000 points is worth $4,422. Okay, versus what Chase is telling me, if I book through Chase, it'll only be worth 1,000 something. You don't want that, because then you're like, oh, that sucks. It's only $1,000 worth of travel. But if you go and you transfer this to a United flight or to a partner, like another partner airline, you can travel this exact same flight for 40,000 points, which means that's equivalent to $400 roughly, right? So $400 for a $2,200 plane ticket. So typically people will go in here and they're like, oh yeah, let's go and book this $2,000 ticket here. Instead, you can book this for $400. Okay, so the person sitting next to you booked it for $2,000 round trip, and you booked it for $400. How does that make you feel, right? Or how does that make that person feel knowing that you booked your ticket for $400 and they booked theirs for $2,200? That kind of sucks, right? So that's how, that's the reason why utilizing credit cards and doing it the smart way can actually save you lots and lots of money and can reward you as well. So a lot of people don't see it that way, and they're just like, oh, well, I'm just going to pay cash because I don't know the system. But if we do reward travel, then we click update. Yeah, we can transfer these miles that we have here on my account, the 111,000 miles, over here into this United mileage and just travel for 40,000 points for $35. Now, if you scroll over, the cool thing is you scroll over, you might be able to also see other dates that have cheaper flights as well. Boom. Okay. Now, take a look at this. So it looks like it's pretty much standard all around for 40,000 points. But let's say you wanted to travel business or first class. Okay. Now, with business or first class, boom, here you go. Most of it is 180,000 points, right? 108,000 points. And then we can see some of them are 90,000 points. So in this case here, if I click on this, for only 90,000 points, which I have 100,000 points, for 90,000 points, I can travel business class, and you can see there's two different prices. You don't want to pay the 180,000 points. You want to pay the 90,000 points. So I can travel. Let's take a look at how much business class is for this date right here. Let's click update for business class, and let's see what that costs. Okay, I have 100,000 points. You just saw it on my Chase. Now I can transfer that here and utilize this for a business class trip for 90,000 points and pay, like, I don't know how much it was that was. Okay, so now I can see business class, the lowest is anywhere from $5,000 to $11,000 for business class. So think about that. Okay, now your $1,000 that apparently Chase is saying that if you book through chase.com and redeem for travel, which is what 90% of people actually do, which is kind of dumb. If you go through here and you book through travel with us, these are only worth $1,000. But if I book 90,000 points, not even the full 100,000 points, that leaves me with 20,000 points extra. If I book 90,000 points, I can get a $5,000 or $11,000 flight for only like $900 in comparison to what Chase is saying. Okay, and I don't have to use any of my money, actual money, unless I think it's like you add some right here. So you go in here, award travel, all right, and let's go back. And yeah, so these 90,000 points, I'm paying $26. Okay, so I paid 90,000 points plus $26. Most people actually go in here and say, oh, it's 180,000 miles, so I'm going to choose this one right off the gate. But they didn't check every other ticket. They didn't check everything else. So you have to check everything else so that you can see the saver rewards. You can fly the same exact tickets for half the price. Okay, boom. All right, so that's what you do. And then of course you can also do economy, but in terms of like how much it's worth, it's up to you. So you can decide for yourself if economy is better or if it's business is better, because this is like twice the points for business, but you are saving from what you have right here. So if you want that experience, you want to do that and you want to try it, you can definitely go for this, and you can definitely try that out. So there it is, guys. So that's a Chase card. So on to my next card that I like the Discover cashback card, the IT card. Now the IT card gives you 5% cash back at different places. So it's specifically to like dining, specifically to restaurants, like sometimes Home Depot, okay, things like that. So sometimes you'll find on there different things that you can use this cash back for. And Discover has all these different cool cards, but one of the reasons why I really, really enjoy this is that it gives you 5% cash back on specific purchases. Okay, specific purchases on Discover. So I'm not going to log in right now. Actually, yeah, let's go ahead and log in. All right, guys, so I'm here in my Discover card. Now, what I can do is, I don't go here much often, so you can tell. So what I can do is I can click ways to redeem, okay, and I can see all the different things that I have. So I can redeem these for cash back, but then there's also a place where you have to go in here and right here, the 5% cashback bonus, you have to click the view full calendar. So if you're spending on grocery stores, okay, so right here from January to March, grocery stores, you can earn 5% cash back from January to March up to $1,500 in purchases. So this is better than the 3% cash back or the 4% cash back with Capital One. So you're thinking to yourself, okay, who goes to groceries or who gets gas? Possibly everyone, right? So if you go to the grocery stores or you go get gas, you can use your Discover card, and instead of getting 4% or 3% cash back, you can get 5% cash back. Okay, 5% cash back, and you spend $100, you made yourself $5. You spend $1,000, you made $50 in cash back. Okay, if you go to the grocery store, you spend $100, you spend $200. You know, typically people like for the entire week or month, I don't know, spend like $100, $200 at a grocery store, you make yourself $5 or $10 back. So imagine the cashier is like, all right, let me pull out a $5 bill and give it to you. That's what Discover is doing right here. Okay, if you do it right, use your Discover card on specific things like this, you get that. And here, right here, sometimes you have to activate it as well. So people don't know this. They're like, oh, I didn't know I didn't activate it and I didn't get my 5% cash back. That's because you didn't activate it on the back end. You have to go in here like restaurants and PayPal. If I click on that, I have to click activate now. And it's just simple. It just does this. It just boom, you're earning 5%. But if you don't do this, which most people don't, they don't go in here and check, you don't get that 5% cash back. Here's another one. From October to December, Amazon, Target, and Walmart, you get 5% cash back from all of these stores, up to $1,500 in purchases. So up to $1,500 in purchases, you can get 5% cash back. Okay, so that means you would get roughly about like $30 cash back. But hey, that's still cash back from Amazon, Target, and Walmart. That's still pretty good, right? So I'm going to click activate, just because if I spend anything in October or December on any of these stores, I'll get that cash back. Boom, that's it. That's all you have to do. You just have to activate it. And that's it. And you just have to know when to use your cards. Okay, so that's the Discover card, the IT card. Really cool because of that 5% cash back. Now let's go to Amex, which is my ultimate favorite. Okay, this is my ultimate favorite. Now, we were invited to the Black card as well, but my wife was like, no, we don't need it right now. But I'm like, are you kidding me? Because that allowed us to do so many things and also access like exclusive things with Amex. But what we have is we have this Platinum card. Now, when you first start off, and also I have the Hilton Honors, which is great for like, you know, if I were to spend anything at the Hilton, I can use the Honors card and get like 5 times the points. So let's go click on all cards. Now, one of my favorite of all time cards is the Platinum card. Not only that, because it's also metal. So like I have my Platinum card right here. I'm not going to show you the numbers or anything like that, but like it's metal, right? Like I can hit things with this. Like even with the Sapphire as well. The Sapphire is also partially metal. So that's the cool thing about these cards is that it's metal. So when you hand someone this card, you're like, not a lot of people actually see this card. They're like, whoa, what the heck is this card? And it's like kind of like a ninja shuriken. Like you can throw this thing and it probably like if you had a wall like a plastered wall, it'd probably go through the wall. Like it's pretty heavy, right? But that's one of my favorite cards just because it looks really cool. But also you get really cool points on this as well. So the Platinum card, and it also protects you from a lot of purchases and things like that. So the Platinum card, you get up to $60,000 membership reward points, up to $5,000 in purchase in your first 3 months. And you also get points back as well. Now the cool thing with this is you get free Uber rides, okay? Free Uber rides. You get $15 in Uber rides every single month, up to $20 in Uber rides in December. So if you put this on your card and you travel a lot like I do, and I need to travel from my airport to, let's say, a hotel or something like that, I can use that $15 and it gets redeemed on my Platinum card, and I get it for free. So that $15 Uber ride or that $5, $10 Uber ride was free. Okay, so you get $15 free Uber ride. So imagine, let's do some math here. Okay, $15. Let's see if it actually makes sense. So we have $15 times 12. Actually, $15 times $15 times 11. 15 times 11 is $165 plus $20 in December. That's $185 in free Uber rides. So if you take Uber a lot, then you can actually get that. Another cool thing is you can also get free VIP status as well. So like VIP status means, and I've noticed this on my card as well. So when I would go into like Uber and I would order a car, I don't know if it's specific times or whatnot. But I always get like the black cars, which is like the more expensive ones, and that's like an upgrade, right? And then another thing is you get the membership rewards points. So you get 5 times rewards points if you book with airlines directly with American Express Travel. So American Express Travel also has a back end where you can call up and you can book directly through them, and they can set it all up for you. They also have a concierge, which I'll talk about that. The 5 times rewards points on hotels booked through Amex Travel as well. So you get 5 times more rewards points. You also get $200 airline credit fee. So if you go and you order a bag of peanuts or whatever at the airlines, you get credit for that, right? And I was like, what the heck? So I just bought like these peanuts from this airline and I used my card and Capital One gave me credit. Yeah. So they give you $200 in free credit airline. So that's $185 plus $200. Okay, that's $385 in just like perks and benefits throughout the year. All right. Now the other thing is you also get free TSA pre-check. So how many of you guys go into an airline and you have to wait in the regular lines, right? That sucks. Or you could pay $95 or $85 or $100 for global entry. You can pay $85 and get yourself screened so that you can go through TSA pre-check. So what that means, you get to go on the faster line, which if I were in Philadelphia, I'll go to Philadelphia and I'll go to the airport. It takes me, I've timed it, 40 seconds to 60 seconds to get past security. Okay? While in the regular lines, maybe it takes 15 minutes, 10 minutes or something like that. You have to wait in line, get everything checked. With TSA pre, boom, you're just right through security. So if I needed to catch a plane and it was like 30 minutes to catch a plane, I can get right through security if I didn't have any checked in baggage, get right through security and get on my flight really, really quickly. I've timed it. It was like 40 seconds. Sometimes it was like a minute, depending on if there's people there. But you don't have to take off your shoes. You can keep your laptop in your bags. Depends on, some airports depend as well. But in Philly, like, you can put your things like that in the bag and then put it through the scanner and boom, you're all done. It depends also on like who's checking you and stuff like that. But you can keep your shoes on. You just walk through the security thing and beep beep beep, done. You're all done, good to go. Boom, you're out, right? And you can relax. And that's one of the things as well. Like I get really frustrated at airports, so I don't want to like anything with lines or anything with waiting or big crowds. I just don't like. So that's one of the reasons why I got TSA pre. They give you TSA pre for they pay the application for every 4 years for TSA pre. So they pay that for you, okay? So you don't have to do that. So that's $385 plus, let's say you get TSA pre, $85, $470 in benefits already. And then you also get, now this is the cool thing as well. Receive complimentary benefits with an average total value of $550 with fine hotels and resorts. So that means they can also upgrade you when available. You can do 4 p.m. late checkouts. So I've noticed this when we were in Toronto and we were at the I think it was like the Hyatt or the Marriott or something like that, and we got an upgraded penthouse hotel because just using the card. I don't know what it is, but I think they just see the card and they're like, oh, we're gonna take care of this guy or something, and they just upgrade you for some reason. Pretty cool, right? And then you also, this is my favorite, my ultimate favorite. This is if you travel a lot, right? So this is like, if you travel a lot, you get the Global Lounge Collection. So if you were to go to any lounge, like you go to an airport and you see all these fancy lounges and all this other stuff, you'd have to pay about $60 just to get into the lounge to sit there and eat whatever food and drinks, whatever they have. So with this card right here, this gives you unlimited lounge access as long as it's a partner with Amex, which is a lot. There's a lounge in every single airport with Amex, of what I've seen, right? Unless you're in like a really weird country that doesn't have it. Even we were in Costa Rica and we had this, right? So this gives you access to lounges for absolutely free. So you're going to get also this card, and then you're also going to get another card, which is called the Priority Pass, and that pass allows you to get to these lounges. You have to have this pass to get to these lounges, up to 2 people. So you and your spouse can go over there in the lounge absolutely free. So imagine, that's $120 for free. And you can sit at the lounge while waiting for your airline. Sometimes they announce it. They have showers there. They have places where you can just sit and relax. They have places where you can eat. There's actual food, right? There's like TVs and like it's nicer. If you were to sit in an airport, those little seats, crammed seats and whatever, and you have to pay for your food and whatnot. At these lounges, everything is free, even the drinks, and then you just tip the bartender, whatever you want, right? The drinks are also free. So imagine that. This itself pays for itself like multiple times. So however many lounges we visit, like it's a lot. And so instead of paying for it, we can just kind of go there, relax before our flight. So this one right here, let's say we do $120 times, let's say we visit, I don't know, I would say about 20 lounges a year. That's $2,400 in lounges. So almost $3,000 in benefits right here. And you get points, because if you pay it on time, you also get these points for $550 a year. And yeah, that's a pretty hefty fee. But if you use all of these things, even just the Uber and even the airline credits and the TSA Pre and things like that, this is great for travel. And this is also a great card to accumulate points and get that back, especially if you're using it on advertising. Okay, so most of you on here that are probably watching, you're probably business owner some way, form or another, and you're utilizing credit and you need to leverage credit so that you can scale. This is one of the best cards to do it with. Now, the other card that I'd recommend is if you're just starting out and things like that, you're just building up your credit, is I'd recommend the, let me see here, it's the American Express Cash card, this one right here, the Blue Cash Everyday. I believe there's like, let me see if they, yeah, so they don't show you like who can apply or whatnot, but this is the card that I applied after building up my credit, and it's the Blue Cash Everyday card. Now this one, you get 3% cash back up to $6,000 in purchases per year, okay, per year on supermarkets. 2% cash back select stores, 1% cash back on all other things. That's per year. So this is one, and there's no fee to this, right? So if you're just starting out and you're just building up that credit, this is one of the best cards to do it. But only apply for this once you have like a pretty decent credit, like an average credit. This one, once you build up trust with Amex on this one, then the next step there is to apply for this one right here, the American Express Gold card, which gives you 35,000 points. There are other cards that have 0 fees as well, which you can use, and I believe Amex also has one without the fees. It's this one right here, the American Express Green card, which has 0 fees. Actually, and then $95. Never mind. So forget that. So, but that's the next step. If you're running, you know, any type of business, this is what you would go for next, is the Gold card, and then from here you get invited into the Platinum card. You can do the Platinum card right away, but sometimes it's really difficult to get into this card. But if you have this card, you can get invited, depending on how much you're spending, into this card here. So when you're invited to this card, and then the next step to this card, they don't even have it on the website, is the American Express Black card, which that one is ridiculous. It's a $4,500 annual fee, but you get so many benefits to that. You can network with other people who have the Black card, and go to these Amex events and things like that, and eventually you can get business from them as well too. Like you can actually network with them and stuff like that. So there are like exclusive things that you can do with this. So like for example, there's like this tour in Italy that only people with the Amex Platinum and Black card can go to, and that's the best networking scene, because you know people that are using these cards, they're spending a lot on ads, or they probably have businesses, they're running, you know, all these kind of things where they have to spend money. And that might be a good scene for you to network and get connections and also gain business as well. So with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Okay, I hope you guys really enjoyed it. We went over the Chase card, we went over Capital One, we went over Discover, and we went over American Express. I even showed you guys how to use your points for flights. Okay, and even if that one little piece of information was crucial for you, and that one piece of information was able to get you a $4,000, $5,000, $10,000 flight for only like $1,000 in points or less than that, then I hope that brought in a ton of value today. So if you did like this video, share this with your friends. Share it with everyone that you know that uses credit cards, because I just had a talk with one of my friends. We went camping this past weekend, and he was like, yeah, so I'm going to be traveling, and we're going to spend like $3,000 or $4,000 in traveling, and we were going to do that with one X point with our Southwest card. I'm like, are you kidding me? So he's now going to go and open up a Chase card, get those 80,000 bonus points, because he's going to spend it anyway. Get the 80,000 bonus points, and then he's going to go and probably use those bonus points for like flights as well, like what I just showed you here with United. Now with Chase, you can also do that with other flights as well. I just showed you one, but if you do your research and you find other flights and you're like, whoa, this flight is like a super bargain and it's like 20,000 points versus 40,000 points, then you can find those things as well on those other partner airlines. It does take a lot of research, does take a lot of time, but if you take the time and spend the research on it and doing these things, it can benefit you a ton and greatly. You can literally, like, you can buy a car at the end of the year with just your rewards points if you really wanted to, if you have that many points, if you spend that much. So, all right, guys, once again, I want to thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you got a lot of value. Put in the chat box below, what your thoughts were. If you want to help out and show other cards as well, put in the chat box below what your thoughts were on that. Let me know how you enjoy this video. Really do appreciate it. Click the subscribe button and the notify button as well on YouTube, so that this way you can be notified for any new videos that I come out with. And so the more likes I get, the more subscribes I get, the more it motivates me to create more of these videos. Now, on another note, if you stuck along towards the end of this video, I'm going to do a random raffle. I'm going to do a random drawing where I'm going to be giving $100 in PayPal to anyone that does create a comment on this YouTube channel. And I'm going to do, on my next video, I'm going to do a wheel, and that wheel is going to show the raffle, and it's going to get $100. Whoever gets that, whoever commented, is going to get $100 PayPal just for watching this video, just for enjoying it, and just to help out with the channel and things like that. All right. Once again, thank you guys so much. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you on the next video.